Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are in chapter 7, What Flows Forth of Awayuki. We are finishing up Awayuki before we go into Battlefield Waltz. We have 3, maybe 4 episodes, depending on how long the short stories are. It says it unlocks it. I'll probably record it as if I'm doing a whole new video, and if it ends up being short, I'll just tack it on to the end of the endings. I'm recording this on Monday, even though, like, I know it's behind. I've been trying to not let it fall behind, but it just kind of, it was Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving, Thursday, Black Friday, Friday, which I did go Black Friday shopping. I posted pictures of my snake on my post section. And if there's no more votes by the end of today, I will name my new snake Mango. Since Mango has won with 45% majority. Also, let's see, Sunday was a DoorDash all day to get ready for Silas's myth that comes out tomorrow. So I need to get this recorded before I get busy recording Silas's myth story. Because as soon as I pull a card, I can watch it, which is going to be tomorrow, probably before 7 a.m. And then that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, is reading and recording. It's going to be in 2 episodes because I'm sure it's going to be really long. I've never recorded a myth, but I'm guessing about 3 hours, and I don't want to put that all in one video. I was on my YouTube page for some reason, and I forgot why. Oh yeah, I was looking to see how long it's been since the last video. It's been 4 days. Been rambling, trying to figure out what I was trying to look at. Okay, anyway. We're on chapter 7. They chased, let me see if I can remember his name. Starts with a U. Utetsu or something like that. The culprit. They chased him into this alley, baited him out with bad talk about the Taisho. And they're going to capture him and prove Awayuki's innocence, which Yori should already know because Yori was with him. He had an alibi for the day of the fires that he's accusing him of. But Yori's just a bad man. We all know this. So, anyway. And so, we managed to capture Ugetsu. Hey, I was accurate, wasn't I? I don't even know what I said now. Even when outnumbered and subdued, he struggled for a while, not giving up. But when Tsuyakusa approached him, he settled down and stopped struggling. I wonder why. Like, I feel like it's supposed to look like coincidence, but I'm convinced at this point that Tsuyakusa is related to the Taisho somehow, because Ugetsu did a double take on him in the alley. Not in the alley, when they were walking around, and he was looking at Tsuyakusa specifically. I thought he was looking maybe at Hinagiku, or I don't know if anyone else was with him. Maybe Yashiro was with him. But no, he did a double take on him. Said he reminded him of someone, and then the Taisho was like, that brings into question, who the real Taisho is. And he was talking to Awayuki. So I feel like they're related, possibly brothers, but it could just be my wildest imagination. Tsuyakusa reached into Getsu's pocket and found the ignition device that would serve as evidence against him.
あんたはこのからくりを使って社を燃やそうとした。そうだよね。
動機はある程度察しちゃいるが、改めて聞く。なんだってこんな真似をした。
I'm clean, man. With a look of hatred on his face, Ugetsu glared towards Awayuki. I know, he doesn't like him either.
決まっている。大樹様のご意向を知らしめるためだ。Itehariが空に浮いて以降、この町に住まう誰もが大樹様を信奉してきたはずだ。
Sent into the sky.
なのに、今はどうだ。民草の中には大樹様のご加護を疑い、反大樹を唱える不届き者が現れる始末。私は愚者どもに正義の鉄槌を下すのだ。
There was a powerful anger in his voice, but it was his choice of words that made me feel indignant. Will this really help the great Taiju? When I met with Lord Hiragi, he seemed sad. Oh, she called him by name. I guess his eyes widened with surprise at that, but then he shook his head as if to deny what he heard.
だがこれは大樹様を思ってのこと。大樹様の御代のために必要な行いだ。
Jabari furrowed his brow and asked another clarifying question.
結局は大樹の命令で動いてたのか、それとも。
Getsu abruptly attempted to stand but was held down by Awayuki. He still shot a murderous glare at Tobari as he shouted.
ふざけるな。様をつけろ無礼者。
What did he say? Did I miss it? Oh, he just said Taiju, not the great Taiju.
そんなこと大樹様がお命じになるわけないだろう。大樹様は人を傷つけようとなさらない方だ。
His fury was so intense that Tobari and Awayuki could only blink in surprise, and Yashiro gave a troubled smile, not entirely sure how to react.
真に手張りの未来を憂えているのはあの方を置いて他にいない。だからこそ私は大樹様のために。
As Ugetsu shouted his grievances, I remembered my conversation with Laura Sakaki.
人々は大樹様を深く崇拝すべきである。それこそいてはりのあるべき姿だと。Hinagiku殿、あなたはどう思いますか？
I felt both anger and sadness toward Ugetsu, who killed others in the name of the great Taiju. I had seen people burned to death with my own eyes, and the memories of which still hadn't faded. I responded, he wants to stop you. We're gonna say first, this won't help him. I don't think what you're doing will help the great Taiju. Izaku glared at me as if ready to try and silence me.
ま、あれだけのことをしておいて、いつまでも逃げ続けるのは無理だよね。実際、俺たちに捕まってるじゃん。
その上、犯人がお前だと分かれば、大樹の金次が虐殺を行っていたのかと、責任を問う声が上がるはずだ。
そんなことは分かっている。 私が犯人だという証拠はどこにも残していない。
Having calmed down a bit, he slowly explained the conclusion to his plot.
死人に口なし。私が黙って死ねば、大樹様に迷惑をかけることなく、事件は迷宮入りする。
Well, you're not dead, you're caught.
そうすれば犯人は明らかにならず、愚民どもも大樹様に逆らってはならないと敬意を取り戻すはずだ。
Ugetsu earnestly laid out his plan, seeming to truly desire such an outcome.
いずれ事件は終わる。それでいいだろう。貴様らに迷惑はかけていない。邪魔をしないでくれ。
He says it like he's in a position to continue, and he's not. He said so quietly, and I gently shook my head. You're already causing us trouble. Alright, I was getting caught up in the story. I'm sure we can go back now. Okay, we responded, he wants to stop you. The great Taiju said he wanted to stop you.
やめろ。私を口車に乗せようなど。
俺も、そのお言葉を確かに聞いた。
At Awayuki's confirmation, Ugetsu held his breath, looking even more disturbed than earlier. Great Taiju said you were sincere and honest, that you couldn't be the one behind the crimes. Yet he seemed concerned that this might be what you really wanted.
お前がそばで柊様のことを見てきたなら、俺たちの話が事実かどうかなんて、すぐにわかるんじゃないか。
I'm surprised he's not yelling at Awayuki for using that title.
柊様は お優しい方だ。だから、私がしていることを知ったら、きっと、そうおっしゃるだろうとは思っていた。私が犯人だという証拠はどこにも残していない。
Okay, so let's skip to red content. If I could press the right button. There we go. You've greatly affected Itehari as a whole. A lot of people have died. Many people have been tormented by grief and fear. She said, "What? You've already caused us trouble. It's not going to end suddenly once you die." His expression twisted with pain. He spoke again in a low mutter.
私は、大樹様のために何かしたかった。
Well, then you should stop killing people.
金次として仕えて初めて知った。今や大樹様とて絶対ではないのだと。
Getsu's face shook with emotion.
実際に祭りごとを行っているのは竜英の管理。特に最初、榊様に権力が集中している。
As Getsu spoke, I saw not anger but frustration appear on his face.
伊手張りの失勢に大樹様のご意向が反映されることはごくわずかしかない。だが、大樹様には人を導く力がある。あの方が表立って活動できるよう、何か手を尽くしたかった。
After hearing what Getsu had to say, Tsuyakusa scratched his head.
そう思ってくれる奴がそばにいたのは、大樹にとっていいことだったのかもしれないけどさ。それじゃダメだよ。あんたは支え方を間違った。
では、どうすればよかったと。
At Ugetsu's plaintive question, Tabari frowned.
お前の気持ちはわからなくもない。世界が簡単に変わるようにできてるなら、誰も苦労なんてしねえよな。
His eyes were open and clear. As the head of the entertainment district, he must have seen his share of good and bad.
人の命を奪うくらいしねえと、今の平和に使った奴らの危機感は煽れない。そう考えるのも道理だ。
黙れ。貴様に理解されても不愉快だ。
You don't get to talk, you're nothing but scum. Ugetsu practically spat out his words, but Tabari's wry smile remained unchanged.
うるせえよ。だが、そう考えたにしても、人を燃やすのは突飛すぎるだろう。なんだってそんなことを思いついたんだ。
それは。
Ugetsu looked down, mumbling hesitantly.
話してくれない。柊のためだと思ってさ。
He didn't even use the word Lord. His eyes lingered for a moment on Tsuyakusa's face, then he eventually spoke again in a quiet voice.
大樹様のために何かできないだろうかと頼れる人に相談した。
Someone you could rely on. Let me guess. Yori. You've been seeing him in secret. Could it be? I know, right? You already know.
人が燃える事件が起き始めるよりも少し前、雨月は花町で頻繁に会ってる相手がいた。
I can't believe Yori would suggest setting people on fire. Why is he a romanceable character? Like, he's supposed... These people are called villains, and they stay villains for a reason. You're not supposed to fall in love with them.
黒鶴のよりだ。
Oh my goodness. Unable to believe it, I voiced the name that came to mind. Yori of the Western Second. He gave a quiet gasp of shock. His reaction alone made the answer clear. I'm clean, Yori. What have you said? We couldn't remain in the alley to discuss this further, so we secured Ugetsu and brought him to Hinagiku. He was in such low spirits that he never struggled once on our way there. Then, he explained to us what he had discussed with Yori. Good, at least someone will be honest.
君が思い悩むのも理解はできるよ。
大樹公が不当に侮られているのは、人々が彼の素晴らしさを知らないからか。
私は、その現状が許せないんです。
残念だけど、竜英の仕組みをいきなり変えるのは不可能だよ。例えば、最近黒鶴では、知らぬいって集団を探ってる。彼らは声高に反大樹を主張していてね。何をしでかすかわからないんだ。
反大樹、そんな奴らがこのいてはりに。
大樹様が悪いわけはないのに、育ちが悪い連中は、すぐ自分の不幸を他人のせいにするからね。でも、これは大樹様のご意向が、いてはりの端までは未だ届いていないことの証左でもある。
どうすれば、大樹様のご意向を広く知らしめることができるだろう。
大樹公はあまり表に出られないしきたりだっていうのも厄介だよね。近域で直接顔を合わせる右月くんみたいな立場ならともかく、管理たちにとっても彼の存在は希薄なのかも。
確かに。せめて榊様がもっと大樹様のご意志を汲んでくだされば。
あ、そういえば、右月くんは昔からからくりをいじるのが得意だったよね。
I was wondering if he was going to bring up a method or if he was just going to leave it up to him.
まあ、はい。ただの趣味ですが。
それなら、いや、やめておこうかな。こんなことを言っても仕方ないし。
He's doing that just to bait him.
何ですか？言ってください。
ただの思いつきなんだけどね。大樹公を軽んじる不信心な連中に天罰が下ればいいなと思ったんだよ。
天罰？
黒鶴の神隠しだけだと不平の抑止力としてまだ足りないわけでしょ。だからもっと神がかったこと、大樹様の神通力によって下った天罰だと民衆が思うような何かが起きれば、みんな考えを改めるんじゃないかな。大樹様がお怒りだって。
He's trying to phrase it in a way that doesn't criminalize him, that is not his personal suggestion. Like, if only we could have something godly happen to him. Paul, and you're good with machinery, right? Also, there's this anti-Taiju group that you can put the blame on. Just saying. I mean, this guy, man.
多少は心を入れ替えて、畏敬の念とともに大樹様を崇めるようになる。
それは、そうかもしれません。ですが、大樹様は。
実際に誰の力かは関係ないんだよ。大樹様は尊崇されるだけの器がある方だ。なのに、彼を信じない民草はおかしい。そういう愚かな連中には、わかりやすい演出が必要なんだ。
その通りだ。天罰。
まあ、僕は思いつきを話しただけだし。
There he goes. Leaving himself out of it was just a thought, you know.
大樹様のためにそこまで身を尽くして天罰を下す人間なんて、いてはりのどこにもいないかもしれないね。
Just bait him further. Like, I will do it.
頼殿は、賢くて頼れる先輩だった。
I don't know about dependable, but definitely clever.
多くの意味で目立つ人だから妬まれやすく、悪く言われることもあったが、彼は自分の身分と立場をわきまえない人間が嫌いなだけだろ。
Ugetsu quietly murmured his comment, which reflected the attitude of Itehari's nobility.
平民が貴族と同格のように振る舞うのは許されることじゃない。貴族の方が生まれから優秀である以上、彼らがこちらに逆らうこと自体が大変な過ちだろう。
Seeing Ugetsu speak with such a rigid expression, Tabari narrowed his eyes as if wanting to say something.
優秀ね。
まあ、士官学校でも試合形式の授業は貴族の方が圧倒的に優秀な成績を残すことが多かったのは事実だよ。
Hearing Awayuki's comment, Yoshiro tilted his head.
それはあれじゃないかな。貴族相手に手を出すのは気が引けるからじゃ。
当然、そうであるべきだろう。
He spoke up assertively to answer Yoshiro's question.
士官学校で貴族を上回る平民なんてものがいるとすれば、どこか壊れているとしか言いようがない。
Getsu glared at Awayuki, criticizing him even with a sharp voice. Because Awayuki stood up to a noble.
淡雪。
Like, grr.
わけもなく矜持を辞し、大樹様を裏切った男。そうだろう。
I'm sure he had a reason. I looked over at Awayuki, but he didn't show any signs of being upset by what Ugetsu said.
お前が反大樹の知らぬいに協力している。ずる賢くも尻尾を出さない。幻冬祭6日目に淡雪をおびき出すから、近くで天罰を下してくれないか、と。
Tsukusa frowned at Ugetsu's remarks.
そう、よりに言われたってわけ。淡雪が大樹を裏切ったとか、反大樹だとか全部。
Under Tsukusa's gaze, Ugetsu nodded feebly in response. Perhaps he regretted it now despite his reasons for doing so. However, Ugetsu's crimes couldn't be ignored. I regained my composure and asked him a question. Then what about the victims from that day who didn't have anything to do with the Shiranui?
大樹様に代わって天罰を下す相手に、相応の罪がなければおかしいだろう。身元も素行も調べを重ねた上で、そうすべき相手にだけ火をつけた。だが、あの時は。
As Ugetsu trailed off, Tabari spoke to him in a sharp tone of voice.
下調べの時間もなく、適当に大樹に不満がありそうなやつを選んで燃やしたって。
However just he considered his actions, he must have known somewhere deep down that what he did wasn't right. Ugetsu bit his lip at Tabari's point.
困ったね。こうなると、雨月を黒ずりに突き出して万事解決ってわけにはいかなくない？
Right. It was true that Ugetsu was the one committing the acts of divine punishment, but could it really be said that Yori wasn't at fault? If we tell the Kurozuru exactly what we heard, I'm sure Yori will deny his involvement. Tabari and Tsukusa both nodded with bitter looks on their faces.
明確にやれとは言ってないのがえげつねえんだよな。
I know, right? Didn't actually tell him, but just put the thoughts in his head.
愚痴を聞いて励ましただけ。とか言い逃れられたらおしまいだもんね。でもこの件はよりが悪いじゃん。
いえ、より殿は。
Even at this point, Ugetsu struggled to defend Yori, but Tsukusa waved his hand, dismissing his attempts.
いやいや、完全にそそのかしてるっしょ。よりに言われなかったら、あんたは大樹の扱いに悩んだとしても、あんなことまでは思いつかなかったんじゃないの？
それは。
The silver phosphorus used in the ignition machines is really hard to come by, right? Who got it for you? Ugetsu remains silent. It's probably Yori. He practically admitted that he got it through Yori's help. I know, right?
ひとまず、柊様に連絡を取ってみるのはどうでしょうか。
I know, just go above Yori's head. Go to the Ryue or whatever.
いいんじゃない。近似のことだしね。
Go to the great Taiju himself. Just then, there was a loud banging on the door of Hanagetsu. Oh boy, here we go. With extreme caution, we went down the stairs. Oh, look who it is. 5 Kurozuru officers walking into the building. Officers, plural.
何事これ。
Get out of my building. Tsuyakusa's look of surprise turned to disgust as he saw the uninvited guests. Why hadn't come down with us and was still watching over Getsu on the second floor. He was supposed to still be in the entertainment district, so I was relieved by how perfect the arrangement was.
半月堂店主露草、それとそっちの社、今すぐ指令所まで連行されてくれる？
You have been called into question.
あ、もちろん拒否権はないんで、上の許可も下りてるし。
わー。
Wait. I hurriedly cut in front of the officers who were already making their move to capture the others. What is the meaning of this? I demand an explanation.
なんで東郷の姫がこの時間にこんな場所でたむろしてんですか。
Ajiro murmured with a bit of irritation in his voice, looking at me with narrowed eyes.
これ、正当な黒鶴の任務なんすよ。邪魔立てしないでもらいましょうか。伊手張りの人を燃やしてたのは知らぬいって反大樹の集まりだってのが分かりました。その中には
Are these two?
花町の顔役帳を筆頭に露草、社、そしてもちろんお姫様の従者であるAwayukiの名前も入ってます。
They got us. Oh, they did it. You're not with them. Just as we were uncovering the truth. But before we could get to the bottom of all of it, the Kurozuru fabricated a story for the criminals on their own.
普通にAwayukiは東郷の屋敷にいると思ってましたけど、まあちょうどいいです。まとめての方が手間省けるんで。
What proof do you have? I asked him defiantly, refusing to back down. Where is your evidence that these citizens here are culprits?
いや、そんなのHinagiku様に話す必要これっぽっちもないんすけど。例の事件、着火に特殊なからくりを使ってることが分かったんすよ。それを作ったのが半月堂の露草です。いろんな燃料やら火種になるものやらあちこちからかき集めてました。
Since Yori is in on this, he can come up with any story that he wants to because he knows exactly what's going on. Tsuyakusa groaned with a distant look on his face. He was gathering all of that. I imagined it was because he needed them to recreate the ignition device. But considering the situation, I could understand how that would put him under suspicion.
そっちの社、最近30区で大樹批判を繰り返してました。多数の証人がいます。
Oh.
Awayukiについては説明するまでもないと思いますけど、幻冬祭の6日目の件っす。花町に行った時も単独行動してましたし、あの時の不審な男もAwayukiの仲間だったと見られてます。あの男、多分花町の顔役の手下、知らぬいの一員だったんでしょ。
That assertion was certainly a forced one. I could feel anger rising inside me, realizing that this was how investigations were conducted by the Kurozuru, the people who were supposed to protect Itehari. I replied as calmly as I could. Most of the victims from that incident were cooperating with the Shiranui, correct? Then isn't it illogical that the Shiranui would be the culprits as well?
仲違いでもしたんじゃないっすか。
Jiro seemed to be struggling after I called him out, and his eyes were darting left and right. If your only evidence is this ill-founded assumption, I won't be handing over Awayuki to you. I looked back at the Kurozuru and stood my ground. And then, in a calm but firm voice, leave this place, officers. This is the home of my friend, and I will not allow you to step foot in here without permission.
上に報告しますよ。東郷の姫が俺たちに対して非協力的だったって。
So be it. I responded without hesitation, at which point he drew back slightly. I am the head of the Eastern Fifth. If my actions here affect the reputation of my family, I am prepared to take responsibility for the consequences. Jiro frowned but nodded.
ならよかったです。その覚悟、すぐ使うことになると思うんで。
After he spoke, he sent a look to the other officers.
遅くにお邪魔しました。また来ます。
Without any further demands, Ajiro and his officers left Hinagiku. You guys better work quick now. My heart is pounding. I took a deep breath while holding my hand to my chest. Did I do everything properly? I looked anxiously at my attendant who nodded with a cheerful smile. Oh.
ああ、立派だったよ、姫。
He didn't criticize her this time. He's like, thank you for standing up for everyone. What a relief. As I exhaled deeply, I heard applause.
やるじゃねえか、姫さん。いい単価だ。
I looked back to see Tabari had come down from the workshop with the Getsu behind him.
ありがとう。助かったよ。でも、これは時間稼ぎにしかならないね。姫様にずっと半月堂にいてもらうわけにもいかないし。
何より、さっき黒鶴が引き下がったのも、うちの姫が東郷だからだ。うちよりも価格が高い機関兵が来れば、姫はそいつに逆らえない。
I know, if Yori himself comes, Yori was just one example. And we have to do something. At this rate, Awayuki and the rest of you will be arrested by the Kurozuru. Tabari thought for a moment, then let out a small sigh.
今すぐに状況をひっくり返せるなら苦労はしねえ。だからまず。
Tabari stood intrepid, even considering the situation. He didn't seem to lose his composure and continued with a smile.
身を隠すってのはどうだ。時間稼ぎを続けて好機を待つ。
But where could we hide?
あ、
Oh?
そういうことか。
Huh? What? What are you talking about? Hide where? In the entertainment district? I was puzzled by everyone seeming to know a place, and Tabari smiled.
貴族様はまず立ち入らないどころか、意識にも上らねえ場所があるのさ。だが、もう一つの問題は、こいつをどうするかじゃねえか。
You take him with you, obviously. Tabari turned his gaze towards Ugetsu, who remained silent and sullen the entire time. He knows the truth about these incidents and serves as a living witness who can testify to everyone's innocence. I don't think we can afford to hand him over to the Kurozuru yet. If we handed him into their custody, they would probably use him as a tool to fabricate a better story for themselves. They could make sure the real truth was never revealed.
姫様の言うこともわかるけど。
Ishida glanced at Ugetsu, then asked his question with a curious look.
彼は何人もの人間を生きたまま燃やしたんだよ。そんな危険な男を保護するの？
As long as you take away his toy, it should be okay, right?
今はおとなしいけど、いつ寝首をかかれるかわからない。一緒に連れて行くのは危険すぎる気もするな。
In response to Yoshida's point, I replied, "We trust his loyalty. Oh, do you? We have Awayuki." That's what I would say. No matter what happens, we'll be fine because Awayuki will protect us. He spoke confidently with a deep trust in Awayuki. Tobaro tilted his head in response.
そういう問題か?
Is it not? Awayuki smiled and responded as he saw me in my uneasiness.
ありがとうございます、姫。もちろん、俺は従者としての役割を果たしますよ。
To bring the truth to light and have Ugetsu answer for his crimes in accordance with the laws of Itehari, once we had made our decision on how we move forward. Once we had made our decision on how to move forward. Okay, let's go back up now. Alright, we trust his loyalty. I trust Ugetsu's sense of loyalty. While I was conflicted in my opinion, our conversation was enough to reveal that what was most important to him. Someone who did what he did can't be forgiven. He must be made to atone for his crimes. But I don't think he's lying about his motive being for the great Taiju's sake. And I think Ugetsu himself wouldn't want his fate to be left to the Kurozuru until he's been given a proper trial for his crimes.
それに今の状態で下手に捕まれば、柊の迷惑にもなるかもだしね。
Hiragi? I knew Tsuyakusa rarely used honorifics towards nobles, but referring to the great Taiju so casually still gave me a start of surprise. Probably because they're related. But now wasn't the time to worry about such things, since the others continued without seeming to notice.
俺も従者という立場だからわかります。主人のために人を殺せる人間なら。
Awayuki stated his thoughts without the slightest hesitation.
主人のために何だってするはずだ。たとえ自分がどれだけ泥をかぶることになったとしても。
To bring the truth to the light and have Ugetsu answer for his crimes in accordance with the laws of Itehari, once we had made our decision on how to move forward.
わかった。だが、お前たちのために同行するわけではない。ただ一重に大樹様の、柊様のため。私があの方の汚点になるわけにはいかない。
That's fine for us. He asserted his intentions with a grim expression, and I nodded back at him. Let's cooperate for the time being in order to protect what we need to protect. Ugetsu didn't say anything, but his small nod showed he agreed with me. Awayuki looked at me and muttered as if deep in thought.
立派になったな。
I guess it's because you taught me well. At my response, Awayuki narrowed his eyes in a smile.
じゃあ早速行くか。時間も惜しいだろ。
Let's go hide. Right, but where are we going?
ああ、そいつは。
Oh, come on. Tell me now, please. We snuck out of the central down under cover of night. I think it's supposed to say central district. After some time, our journey proceeded in an unusual direction as we made our way underground. Underground. Like a whole city down there. Wow. There I saw a world completely different from Itehari. There was no star-filled sky here, only the occasional lanterns lighting the way along the otherwise pitch-black road. In the 18 years I lived in Itehari, this is the first time I've ever seen it. It was a place that lay just underneath my home, so close yet so far. This is the abyss. Oh. Okay, so it's not like a godforsaken world, right? It's not hell or anything like that. It looks like just an ordinary place to live, except you're not a part of society anymore, I guess. Because this looks like a perfectly functional place, if there's enough people, I guess.
ところで、姫さんは戦火についてどれくらい知っている?
If you could be spirited away to the abyss, like I was thinking it was like some kind of, like in Nine Rip where you are whisked away, like not just taken underground and say, do not resurface, you are not allowed. Like, I thought spiriting away would be like a more spiritual thing, but no. You literally just get put underground. So you could easily return from it if you wanted to, right? They literally just walked to it. I've heard it's where people who are spirited away in Itehari are sent. And there are those who have committed serious crimes or forced to work in the labor camp. What's the labor camp? A prison in the abyss where those who have committed serious crimes are brought to do manual labor. There's a level below this where trade is conducted between Itehari and the surface, right? So the abyss doesn't seem like that bad of a place. It's like, if I could think of the name, which I probably can't, there's like a district like this in Olympia Soiree, where like all the dirty people go. Like if you're not noble blood, and by noble blood I mean if you're not part of like the red, blue, or yellow or white clan, if you're mixed blood, if you're like orange or green or purple, you go down, you live in this place, a place like this. You're not protected, you don't work within the law or anything like that, and you're looked down upon. This is what this place reminds me of. Brian narrowed his eyes and nodded in response to my answer.
ああ、それだけ知ってりゃ十分だ。
That's all you need to know. But I thought all the roads to the abyss were managed by the Kurozuru.
それ以外にも使える穴やら亀裂やらが、橋町の方には案外あってな。
He would know. The way we arrived here just now was through one of those pathways.
ここは、いてはりほど平和な場所じゃねえってのは念頭に置いてくれ。
Right. Finding it a bit difficult to breathe, I clung on to Awayuki's sleeve.
大丈夫か、姫。
My attendant gave me a caring look through gentle eyes. I do feel safe with everyone here around me, but I'm still a bit nervous. Although I had some knowledge about this world, it was still completely new to me. What about you, Awayuki? Aren't you nervous?
かえって気が楽だ。俺が注意しなくても、帳がまっとうなことを言ってくれたからな。
It's like he's been here before.
小言を言う必要もなさそうだし、おかげで従者らしい仕事に集中できる。
従者らしいって何？そうやって主人と手つないでること？
Holding hands. They're going to tease him now. No, look, Just as I was about to tell him I was only holding his sleeve, I felt Awayuki's hand slip into mine and squeeze it tightly. Aww. Yay. Don't deny it. Please, it's chapter 7.
そうです。戦火の道は足元が不確かなので支えてるんですよ。
Yes, he's going to disguise it as a duty for an excuse to hold her hand. That's cute.
あ、ここはイテハリじゃないから、未婚の男女がくっついていてもいいのかな？
Oh yeah. There's no rules down here, right? So you can express your feelings for each other, right? And not have it criminalize you, right? Yoshio innocently asked his question. Tabari nodded with a frown.
そりゃな。ここじゃうるさく言うやつもいねえし、好きにやってろ。
Enjoy yourselves with a frown. He said this with a frown. Go enjoy yourselves. He's like, I don't know what to say to that. The way he worded it makes me feel so awkward. Flustered, I quickly tried to change the topic. It sure was difficult getting down here. I was so scared I might slip and fall. Were you alright, Tsuyuki-san?
俺は足元より天井の低さに参ったよ。何度か頭をぶつけそうになった。
I'm hoping we see something cute down here. Now that they don't have to, they're not abiding by the laws of Itehari, they can express themselves, right? Oh, right, you're pretty tall, Tsuyuki-san. As we were chatting, suddenly... Sure. I noticed he was looking my way as if wanting to say something. Oh? Getsu, what's wrong?
のんきすぎないか。いや、のんきすぎる。黒鶴に追われる身の上になったっていうのに、こんな仲良し小良しで。
Buddy, but everyone's friends. I don't understand.
あ？なんだ入れてほしいのか？
Are Are you feeling left out? Come here, let's give you a hug. In response to his teasing, Ugetsu retorted with a burst of anger.
そんなわけあるか!
Come here, someone needs a hug. Just as Ugetsu said earlier, he cooperated with us and followed us obediently. He must have thought that our escape together was necessary for all of us to achieve our goals.
まあ、戦火に入って、逆にちょっと気が緩んだところはあるかもね。
Yeah, you have no officers breathing down your neck.
ここまで追っ手の気配はなかったし、ここでうまく紛れたら、黒鶴もなかなか見つけられないよ。
Where Tobai took us was a small building at the edge of the abyss.
小白先生、いるか?
Oh, the doctor here. A short moment after Tobai called out, a man appeared from one of the rooms.
おい、トバリー。ようやく来たと思ったら、なんだそのおまけどもは。
I noticed the stubble on his face, which bore a look of annoyance with the white lab coat he wore.
悪いな。黒鶴が目の敵にしてくるんで、上にいられなくなっちまった。しばらくの間、ここに止めてくれ。
You should say please.
あのな。
Dr. Shahaku cradled his forehead in his hand at Tobari's request.
ここは駆け込み寺じゃねえんだぞ。診療所だ。病人と怪我人のための場所なんだよ。
邪魔にならねえようにする。戦火でここより安全な寝床はないだろう。万が一、黒鶴がここまで来た時はすぐに逃げるから。先生は無理やり押し入られたことにしてくれ。
With a deep sigh, the doctor looked again at Tobari, seemingly having given up.
好きにしろ。俺は戦火に落とされた人間だ。これ以上怖いもんなんてねえよ。とりあえず、そっちのやつは腕を痛めてるな。ちょっと見せろ。
Oh, who does? Dr. Shahaku bluntly pointed at Ugetsu, like as his arm was twisted behind him.
いや、私は罪人だ。手当てなんてされる立場じゃ。
うるせえな、知らねえよ。だったら戦火送りになった俺も、人を治療する資格なんてねえってか？
いや、そういうことでは。
Still looking annoyed, Dr. Shahaku practically dragged Ugetsu away to the examination room further in the building.
じゃあこれからの予定は？
まず寝ないとじゃない。戦火じゃ時間の感覚狂うけど、Itehariならそろそろ夜明けでしょ。
ここは広くねえし、姫さんには悪いが雑魚寝になっちまうな。
I'm fine, I'm just glad to have a safe place to rest in.
本当か？姫さんの従者はあんまり大丈夫じゃなさそうなんだが。
Of course he doesn't look okay with it because she has to sleep with a room full of guys. When I turned to Awayuki, I saw that he had a strained expression on his face.
姫に雑魚寝させるなんて。
Huddled with everyone else. Huh? Really, it's fine. I panicked to reassure my crestfallen attendant, and Tobari chuckled.
姫さんみたいな貴族、初めて見たよ。
She thinks that it's just because of where they are, but he's like, no, there's men everywhere.
この診療所周りは戦火の中でも治安がいい。今夜は安心して休んでくれ。
After Ugetsu's treatment was finished, Dr. Shohaku led me into a private room. Oh. He told me to use the room for tonight as I laid down feeling grateful for the gesture. I can't fall asleep at all. It looks like his personal room. I knew it would be morning soon, but I was still wide awake. My mind must have been agitated by so many things happening at once. I should have asked Awayuki to stay beside me until I fell asleep. I realized what I was thinking and snapped back to my senses. Why? No, I couldn't do that. Everyone else is here with us after all. You don't want you don't want it to look more like just a tenant and servant. While you guys are at home in private, you guys can have these moments, but you don't want them to tease you about it. My embarrassment made me even more awake than before. Feeling unable to relax in the slightest, I got up from bed. As I left the room,
柊様は伊手張りに住まうだけの民の生活まで心からおもんぱかってくださる。唯一無二の素晴らしいお方なのだ。直接ご尊顔を拝す栄誉に私がどれほど。
who's he yelling at?
いやいや、崇拝するだけが金次の仕事か？慕っているなら支えてやれよ。
違う！支えたいと思うからこそ私も不信してきた。竜英の管理どもが大樹様にもっと権限を譲り渡しさえすれば私とて。
いや、そもそも竜英って大樹を助けるものじゃん。一人で管理できるほど伊手張りの政治は甘くないって。柊が優秀だったとしても、たった一人に政治を押し付けるのは違うでしょ。
露草の言葉は理解できるよ。権力が一人に集中しすぎると、いいことも悪いこともあるからね。
しかし
They were having an argument, or rather it seemed to be a heated discussion. I was on the other side of your door. Like, how could you have not heard it before you opened it?
Hinagiku, 目が覚めたのか?
Everyone's awake. Like, everyone's awake, and she's like, it will be morning soon. I should get some sleep, but no one else is sleeping either. I suddenly heard Awayuki's voice beside me and almost gave a start. Actually, I couldn't fall asleep. What's going on here? Awayuki looked reluctant, but answered my question regardless.
全員目が冴えて寝つけなかったんだが、無理にでも休もうって話になったはずだった。
We've decided to force ourselves to get some rest by yelling at each other. Got it.
けどヤシロが無神経なことを言い出して。
Oh.
大樹とはどういうものなのかって話から、雨月に火がついて、政治論が始まった。
What is he? He asked what he was. Now we're in a political debate. People often said, don't discuss politics, the great Taiju, or who the best arcanist is, but given the topic of discussion, it seemed that this heated debate wouldn't end for a while. Aren't you joining them, Awayuki?
しない。不測の事態に備えて、警備に意識を向けるつもりだったからな。
I know everyone else is busy yapping. He needs to pay attention. I see. Thank you for looking out for everyone, Awayuki.
違う。
No, it's just for you. He denied it as his gaze wandered.
みんなのためというか、お前のためだよ、姫。
Only yours, only for you. When he turned back to me and smiled, my heart skipped a beat.
他はまあ、露草様が襲われてたら助けるけどな。
I guess we'll save Lord Tsuyakusa, but no one else. What about Yashiro?
助けなくていい気もするけど、まあ、まだ銀腕の話も大して聞けてないし、助けるか。
We'll save him for his knowledge about Ginwon, sure. What about Tobari and Ugetsu?
あの腕前なら放っておいて大丈夫だろ。
Everyone can take care of themselves, except for Tsuyakusa. He needs help. I couldn't help but feel like he was being a little heartless, but I didn't understand what he was saying. What do you mean heartless? They can take care of themselves. They can fight. they don't need his help.
俺はお前のものなんだから。姫だけを気にかけるのは当然だろ。姫は他人が傷つくことを望まないから、俺も可能な範囲で努力はするが、優先順の1位はいつだってお前だ。今までと同じ。それだけは譲らない。
My number one priority. I see. Considering our relationship as mistress and attendant, it was only natural that he would say so, but perhaps because I was overthinking things, I could feel my heart racing. Say, Awayuki, since we can't sleep, would you mind coming out for a walk with me? Awayuki fell silent with hesitation, then finally nodded after a moment.
わかった。
Yay. Let's go talk. Thank you, Awayuki, you're the best. Despite the grim situation we faced, I found myself excited as we left the clinic. Grr. What is he thinking, I wonder? The air in the abyss seemed somewhat stagnant and was strangely colder than the air in Itehari. Either all of its residents were still asleep or this was just how it normally was during the day. The roads were all empty and silent. I felt like the abyss was somewhere so far away. A place to which the criminals of Itehari vanished. I always wanted to go to the outside world, but setting aside the surface, I don't think I saw enough of Itehari. Awayuki looked a little troubled as he lowered his eyes.
お前は戦火のことなんて気にしないでいい。目の前のことだけ見て、貴族らしく生きていけば、豊かな暮らしが保証されてる。なのに、
And yet,
お前はそうはできないんだろうな。
you aren't able to do that. Able to live as a proper noble? Why not? Awayuki?
お前と一緒にいるようになってから、俺も随分いろんなものを見るようになったよ。お前に教えられて、たくさん学んできた。
Awayuki paused and fixed his gaze on me. I had a bad feeling when I saw that look in his eyes. Oh?
ひなぎく、夜が明けたら上に帰れ。
No. We're not leaving everyone. What? No.
お前は冤罪もかけられてないし、東郷の姫だ。
She's not being accused of anything, but she literally told the Kurozuru to leave, and you are not taking anyone. And Ajiro said he's going to report that. And she better be prepared for the consequences, and she said she was. She's not safe up there. Why would you tell her to go back? Did you forget all that?
逃げた俺たちのことは知らないって言えば、黒鶴も手出しはできないだろう。
Yori will know instantly that she's lying.
長く家を空けてると怪しまれる。共犯扱いされる前に帰らないと。
That is true, but no, I know, right? We're not leaving. How could I possibly leave Awayuki behind? I'm prepared to stay with you, even if I'm convicted of committing a crime. That's what I've been prepared to do since we all talked about going into hiding.
いけません、姫。
We don't care what you think. We don't care what you say. The sound of his voice as he scolded me was stiff and uneasy.
あなたには貴族として果たすべき役割がある。追われる立場に落ちる必要はない。
In response, this is the save file, so we're going to save it. If I can find the right button. Save. We're supposed to be on save file 4, but I only saved 1, 2. I deleted 3 on accident, so we're going to put 4. Let's see. I didn't put 1 on 1, so we're going to put save file 4 on number 4. There we go. And then I'll fix the other ones before the endings. We're going to say, I'll protect you. No, you're mine, Awayuki. Even as I said it aloud, I struggled with phrasing it so harshly. Since I was afraid he would hate me for it. But once I started, there was no stopping. The reason I'm here is because you're important to me, Awayuki. I'm going to protect you. I made my point with a firm resolve and no intention of giving in. I might not be strong like you, but as the head of the Eastern Fifth, I can be your shield. I can even be a spear to clear your name and everyone else's. That's something only I can do, and that's why I have to stay by your side, Awayuki. Awayuki sighed, and his eyes were teary as he smiled. Aww.
ひなぎく、従者に対して肩入れしすぎだろ。
It was teary-eyed. It's just as I spoke. I thought that was the doctor at first, and I was starting to laugh, and I'm like, this man sounds ill. I suddenly heard a groan from nearby. Awayuki swiftly grabbed me from around the shoulders and pulled me towards him, looking around alert as he pulled out a kunai. A resident of the abyss appeared before us in tattered clothes. Are you alright? Are you injured? He does not sound well at all, does he? But the man only responded with another groan. Excuse me.
Hinagiku, 動くな.
Awayuki held me in place, but just as he did... I'm like, he sounds like a monster. Maybe he's been transformed. The man snarled as if he were some sort of beast. Oh, man. It then leaped towards me, moving like the monsters I had read about in stories. Awayuki stepped down in front of me and blocked the man's fist. It seemed the assailant had unimaginable strength despite his looks, and after a few moments of struggle, the deadlock was finished by Awayuki knocking him away.
そうか、これだ。
Or what? The man who screamed and leapt at us again didn't seem to understand us. I felt an unfamiliar fear at realizing this being couldn't be reasoned with. Oyuki's kunai tore through the man's leg, injuring it beyond use. However, using an arm in its place, the man rushed forward to attack again. He must have felt pain, yet showed no signs of succumbing to it. Could this be? I heard about berserkers from Tabari. Oh.
ただの盗人なら見逃したかもしれないが、獣つきだろうと、たとえ正気だろうと結果は同じだ。俺の姫を脅かす者には容赦しない。
Oyuki spoke coldly as he threw more kunai, sending them gliding through the air. They tore deep into the berserker's throat, spilling forth fresh red blood. Oh my goodness. I know, man. Close your eyes. An old memory resurfaced as I watched. I've seen this before. No?
行くぞ。
Gave me a chill. Oyuki urged me forward as I stood speechless. Seeing I wasn't moving right away, he picked me up and dashed down the road. You've seen a man murdered like that before? When I was little, the mansion of the Eastern Fifth burned down in a fire. To this day, I always thought my parents had perished in the fire because they couldn't escape in time, but truth was they were killed. I didn't know who those strangers were, or what they had been trying to do. I only remember the heat of the flames making me cry with fear when someone came to save me.
大丈夫か?
The person who peered into my face looked desperate and terrified. Who is he? The stranger who had pointed a blood-stained sword at me now lay on the ground motionless. Still, the reason I wasn't afraid of him may have been because he looked like me in some ways. Where are my mother and father?
ごめん。お前だけは俺が守ってやるから。もう大丈夫だから。
I always thought that Awayuki was brought in by her parents, but on the night her parents died, that's when he came into her life, saved her. Aw.
姫、顔色が良くないな。
Awayuki frowned with worry as he looked at my face. I think I need to rest a bit. My voice was quieter than I thought it would be as I replied. Aw, a little pond. The pond seemed so pretty as it bathed in the light from above, but seemed somewhat terrifying as well. When Awayuki gently set me down on the ground, he looked at my face again. Awayuki. I took his hand and looked him straight in the eye. That night when the mansion burned down. If he hadn't come to me then, I would have been killed. It wasn't just a fire that happened that day, was it?
思い出したんだな。
Awayuki's expression was pain as he hesitated, but he eventually continued in a soft voice.
お前には教えないようにしてたけど、 表向きは秩序が保たれてるはずのいてはりでも、貴族同士が殺し合うことはあるんだ。
So, a noble killed her parents. His revelation was shocking to me.
お前の父親、先代の東郷の当主は、ある派閥の中心的な人物だった。だから、性的に暗殺された。本当は一家全員を殺して、不運な火事、不幸な事故を装う気だったんだろう。お前は事件のショックで、その前後の記憶が抜け落ちた。俺も当時のことを話すのは気が引けて、ちゃんと言ったことがなかったけど、俺はその事件以前から、東郷の使用人だったわけじゃないんだ。
People are questioning his reason. Ugetsu and Yori both questioned why he left the Kinji to be a servant, a measly little servant of the Eastern Fifth, is because this poor little 8-year-old needed someone to look after her. Her parents were murdered and she had no one. For a moment, we were both silent as I looked deep into the austere-colored eyes that held me steady.
当時、近侍だった俺に、東郷の家を守るよう命が下された。
Oh, really?
俺が選ばれたのは、平民の俺なら貴族間の争いに無関係だろうと思われたかららしい。それに、命令を下した人と俺とは、まあ、親しい方だったっていうのもある。
Was it Hiragi?
命が下されて、近日中には東郷の屋敷で使用人として働くことになった。
Oh, he was given the order. Okay.
その矢先に火事が起きたんだ。俺が駆けつけた時には、もう屋敷は火に包まれていて。助けられたのは、Hinagikuだけだった。
I had thought that Awayuki had always been by my side since the very beginning. After learning about his past, I finally understood the mystery behind what had been lingering in my mind.
お前を助けた後、近域で近侍を続けるか、お前をそばで守るかを選ばされた。俺は別に、近侍であることに誇りを持ってたわけじゃなかったしな。親を失った小さな子供を放っておくのも後ろめたくて、外に出ることを選んだんだ。
Yeah, right? Let's see, she was 8 and he was 16, right? Really? He worded his story to suggest otherwise, but I had already recollected the truth. You came to stay with me because I asked you to, right? I remembered having a dream of this before. I felt now that I could remember it more clearly than ever. Are you leaving? No, can't you stay here with me?
どこにも行かないよ。俺はずっと、そばにいる。
Was that the muffled sound that we heard in the last episode? It was because I had clung to his sleeve that day. That's why.
そうだ。
As Awayuki recalled the distant past, there was a nostalgic glow in his eyes.
俺は、いてもいなくてもいい存在だった。いや、親も亡くして、いるだけ邪魔に思われることの方が多かったと思う。
Someone actually needed you.
近侍としては評価されたのかもしれない。けど、腕が立てば俺じゃなくてもいい。他の誰でもいい。俺自身を求められることはなかった。
He narrowed his eyes gently as he whispered.
お前が、俺を求めてくれたから、そばにいさせてもらおうと思ったんだ。
This makes me want to cry. Even as part of the Kinji, he was insignificant because he was just a strong warrior. It didn't matter who it was, anyone could protect him. But because this little girl needed him specifically, he decided to stay. Awayuki. The reason Awayuki quit the Kinji was because of me. It was because of me and for my sake. Awayuki, did you feel that way at any other times besides then? If I were to die, it would mean the end of the Eastern Fifth. Even though Uncle had looked after me when I was younger, I was the ideal target to other nobles, being the sole member of my family. Was that the reason you've been protecting me all this time?
そうだ。
Then, it only pushed me forward even further. I won't go back to Itehari, I'm staying here. After all this time you've protected me, I think it's time for me to protect you.
俺が怖くないのか。人を殺してたんだぞ。
He's already answered this. He asked his question with unease, and the shaking in his voice made me feel Awayuki was the one who was afraid.
守るためだからなんてのは言い訳にならない。そんな俺のためにお前が犠牲を払う必要はない。
Of course I do. I care about you, Awayuki.
俺がそばにいれば命の危険にさらされるし、お家のためにもならない。
Don't care.
お前が今まで大事に守ってきたものを台無しにしてしまう。
If it means protecting you, I'm willing to risk everything. I decided to let out everything I've been thinking for so long. I won't marry Yori. In fact, I won't marry anyone. And if that ends the family of the Eastern Fifth, then so be it. I already know that's what will happen. I looked straight at the person so dear to me who has stayed by my side for so long. Because there's only one person that I love.
どうしてそんな。
Awayuki's voice sounded pained and confused. Is it really that strange? You've always been important to me, Awayuki. It seemed difficult for Awayuki to meet my eyes as he answered, uncharacteristically nervous.
いや、そりゃ俺は姫の従者だけど、ただの従者なんだよ。
I want all of you, Awayuki. You're my attendant, so you'll stay by my side until I die, right? Or won't you? Awayuki looked as if he were about to cry at any moment, staying silent as he watched me.
そのつもりだった。
She wants all of you. She told you.
士官学校にいた時も、禁域にいた時も、どこか自分のいるべき場所はここじゃないと感じてた。けど、お前に拾われて、初めて自分の居場所ができたと思った。幼い姫に頼られるのが嬉しかったんだ。
Oh, he smiled during halfway through that. That was so cute.
誰かにそばにいてほしいと壊れたのは初めてだったから。
I continued to tell Awayuki how I felt, still not taking my eyes off him. Who I was back then and who I am now hasn't really changed. I'm still the same person at heart. I feel so lonely without you by my side. I don't want you to be gone. His being by my side had always been enough for me, and I suspected it was for him as well. But perhaps because I was an adult now, it's not enough for you to just stay. It's not enough for you to just be my attendant now. I want you to see me not as your mistress, but as a woman. I knew I was being selfish, but these were my true feelings, so I was determined to express them. I might seem like a child to you, Awayuki, and you might not feel that way about me. If that's the case, you don't have to see me as a woman, but don't find someone special for yourself before me. That's really cute. Don't find anyone else. Even if you don't like me, you can't marry anyone else either.
姫。
I may have surprised him by how selfish I was being, but this was the greatest extent that I was able to compromise on my feelings. This was the greatest extent that she was able to compromise. You can't have anyone else. Awayuki gazed at me with a serious look in his eyes, then finally answered.
けど、そうは言っても、俺とお前は身分が違うんだ。
Give it up. Give it up, man. She's already told you. She's not changing her mind.
姫はいずれ結婚しないとだろう。その時、俺が邪魔になるなら。
Oh my goodness, she already told you. I told you, didn't I? I'm not getting married. How do you feel about me, Awayuki? All I want to hear is if you love me or not. Oh, he's conflicted. So conflicted. Even after pleading for him to answer, he didn't. It made me sad, but I suppressed the feeling and continued. I won't ask you to fall in love with me right away, but I'll do my best so that you can see me as a woman someday. Unable to look at Awayuki any longer, I began to walk off. Don't let her go. Don't let her go, please. I'm like, if you are kissing her at any point in this game, now is the perfect moment. Go for it. Yes. I felt him grab my arm from behind, and the next thing I knew, his face was right in front of mine. Before I realized it, my lips were touching his. You cannot leave. We must kiss you, express everything for you. Yay, finally. The gentleness of his kiss took my breath away. My mind went blank, but I could feel the sensation in my lips so clearly. Then, just as suddenly as it began, before I could think of anything else, we were separated.
好きに決まってるだろ。
He confessed his feelings in a quiet voice.
お前の隣にいる権利を誰にも渡したくない。だって、俺はお前のものだ。
He will not relinquish his duty.
生きるも死ぬも全部捧げるし、これからの未来も全部お前に決めてほしい。なのに、なんで手放されなきゃならないんだ。ずっとそばにいさせてくれ。じゃないとおかしいだろ。
Awayuki. As my attendant shared everything he felt, I wanted to hold onto each precious word.
けど、身分が違う人間が思い合っても、幸せになんてなれるわけがない。それに、俺はお前が思ってるよりも、お前に執着してる。そばに居続けたら、いつかきっと何かしでかす。柊様のために暴走した。雨月みたいに。
If he was forced to kill someone for you, he would. I won't let you do anything like that. I spoke without hesitation. I won't let you do anything I would hate. Anything I ask you to do wouldn't be your own fault, would it? I'll keep an eye on you so you don't need to be afraid. You're the one who always tells me to be responsible for every living creature I find, right? I express my wishes in a voice that trembles slightly. So be mine until I die. Awayuki held his breath, his eyes narrowing as if looking at something blindingly bright. For a moment, we gazed at each other without a word, and finally, he broke the silence with a firm voice.
おそばにいさせてください、姫。この命が尽きる日まで。ずっと。
Aww. I know the translation's a little bit off, I feel like, because I read so many other, like, Idea Factory Automate ones when they say, like, you know, I'll be by your side forever. So it's been, like, translated to, you know, be mine, what she said, right? So be mine until I die. Probably would have got translated to, like, you know, stay with me forever. but still. And him saying, yes, please let me stay with you. The confession's so cute. Rather than respond in words, I found myself bringing my face closer to his. And without saying anything, he pressed his lips against mine more firmly than before. Oh, I'm gonna seal it in a kiss. That's so cute. We spent the night hidden in the abyss. When Awayuki and I returned to the clinic, everyone seemed to be sleeping from exhaustion. Not wanting to wake them from their rest, we quietly took a nap as well before morning arrived. Since the abyss was always dark, I wasn't sure exactly what time it was just by looking outside, but I did feel as if I got a good night's sleep.
それじゃ、これからどう動こうか。ずっと隠れてるわけにはいかないしね。
We all looked at each other as we began our discussion of how to proceed.
直近の話で言うなら、俺は一度上に戻って塩路たちに状況を知らせたい。花町の顔役が夜更けに失踪して戻らないなんてシャレにもならねえからな。
We had to travel down to the abyss without contacting the entertainment district, partly because we were in a hurry, but also because birds couldn't be sent at night.
最終的な目標って話なら、夜の所業を暴いて事件の真実を告発する、じゃねえのか？
みんながそうしたいと考えていたのは、俺も理解しているよ。けど、無理じゃないかな。
Yoshido. I was a bit surprised by how casually he made his claim.
罪を負わされるより手張りを捨てたら？それが手っ取り早く安全だよ。
Wait, forget Itehari. What does that mean? Stay down here forever?
ああ
I know, right? Tabari, the only one who didn't know Yoshida was from Genwan, looked indignant as he responded.
それも一つの案だな。
So, he's either saying what? Stay down here or go down to the surface, right? Awayuki? Oh? In contrast to my surprise, Awayuki stayed calm as he continued.
イテハリの仕組みは強固だ。黒鶴を敵に回せば、簡単に解決できるわけがない。けど、こっちの有利な点を挙げるなら、社がいることだ。社なら外に出る方法を知ってるだろうし、地上のことにも詳しいはずだ。
Even as Awayuki spoke, I found myself unable to support their opinion. Oh? We might be safe if we run away from Itehari, but I agree with Tobari. We have to see this through. If we run now, nothing will get better. What do you think will become of those left in Itehari? I was sure Yori would fabricate a story for everyone to settle on that would be to his advantage, forcing those close to us into an unfavorable situation. Those who live in the Seraph Quarter of the Eastern Fifth, the Ryue, the Entertainment District, everyone.
けど、お前の身の安全を思えば。
I mean, I know she probably cares about everyone in Itehari, but even if I was in her situation, yeah, I would probably care about, my family is the Eastern Fifth and want it to continue and all of that, but given the fact that you can't love your attendant, you have the injustice of the Kurozuru trying to force you into complying or into how they want you to be and destroying those who they don't like. I don't know, I'd probably go to the surface too and just live my life how I wanted to. I stopped Awayuki before he could argue further. I know you're just trying to prioritize me, Awayuki, and I'm very grateful, but I can't. I don't want to run away. Oh, but if you say you can't come with me, well, that would be a problem.
バカ。今まで何度お前のわがままを聞いてきたと思ってるんだ。
How many selfish requests have I accepted?
俺が止めても本当に言うことを聞かないし、これと決めたら譲らないだろ。
Thank you, Awayuki. I smiled as I expressed my appreciation, and Awayuki let out his usual resigned sigh. Here comes another sigh. Tsuyakusa watched us, looking as if he wanted to interject, then glanced over at Yoshido instead.
まあ、社は抜けてもいいよ。命をかける必要なんてないからさ。でも、ひなぎくが残るって言うなら、俺もいてはりに残る。
まあ、ギリギリまで粘って無理そうなら逃げるよ。それまでは、みんなを手伝おうかな。
Thank you, Yoshido. Although we still didn't have a concrete plan for what to do, we couldn't let our guard down yet. You know, I said that I would be on the side of just, living my life how I wanted to, but at the same time, like, obviously I don't want the story to end that way. I want to see Yori brought to justice for his bad and illegal scheming. Also, I think if I was in her position, I would want to, like, I don't want to be as evil as, say, ruin him, but at the same time, I think I would want him exposed. I want everything that he's ever done exposed to the public. If that ruins him, then, so be it. Anyway. Although we still don't have a concrete plan. Okay, I said that. I did feel some relief upon deciding on a direction to move in and that everyone was offering their help. Can we end this yet? It's like a minute, or an hour and 30 minutes, thank you. Chapter 8. The morning snow thaws. The morning snow thaws. We get our justice, right? It's 5:30, so I could probably edit this. 11 deep spaces down for another 2.5 hours. I've already done my dailies, but still, I don't know. I was going to read the wedding for Silas. I was going to read everything Silas and watch everything lore related Silas before this thing came out, which I can still do, but I also need to edit this. But anyway, I'm just happy there's a confession finally. 7 chapters later, we have a confession from those two. They tried really hard to prevent it from working, but I'm glad the MC in this is strong-willed. She knows what she wants, and she won't take no for an answer. She was like, I won't marry Yori or anyone else. You must stay by my side. See me as a woman, and if you don't, well then, just don't marry anyone else. Just stay with me anyway, please. I really think it's funny that she said that. I'm curious on what the original script was. Obviously, if you buy this game in Japanese, there's Japanese text for her, right? I wonder what it was. Like, I'm always curious about the original translation, because the English translation is not perfect, and I am fortunate to have some Japanese viewers that can help me understand, the translations of all this. But when the MC doesn't have a voice, you can't really know what was originally said, right? But anyway, that's my end of ramble. If you guys enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.